1.
AM in the PM only on A2D Radio. Tom and Brett, these guys are fucking awesome.
Let's go. 4-2 Flyers. This is AM in the PM, only on A2D Radio. We are live from the Real Talk Studios, like we are every Wednesday night. Every Wednesday night, we're brought to you by our doc. Got to make them yours. That's Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Tom Arnone, Greg Moniak, Brian Daly, Ralphie D over on the ones and twos. Brian Daly, you can catch him tomorrow night, Hockey Happy Hour. Obviously talking about this game even more than we're going to talk about it tonight. Greg Moniak, you can find here, and you can find him behind the producer's desk getting assaulted every Sunday night on Agree Disagree. So we got a jam-packed show for you like we always do. March Madness later on in the show. Tis the season for two things, March Madness and spring training. We'll get into the Phillies, dive a little deeper. Harper, 2 bombs today. Real Muto, a homer, so it's hitting season down there. Sixers road trip continues. If you're paying attention to it, it hasn't been a good time. If you had the Sixers at 12.5 last night, it becomes even a worse time, like it is for me. But this is what you expected. Now you got to go try to win 2 games on the road against teams you could beat. But now the Golden State Warriors, you get a little present when you go there, and that's Steph Curry back. So that's always a good time. He might score, 50 in 30 minutes. So that could be great. But we'll get into that second half of the show. Flyers versus Capitals, live reactions going on right now. 4-2 Flyers, about 12:30 left in the third here. So, listen, you talk about getting behind early, and not granted only 1-0, but on the road. And this team's one of the best third-period teams in hockey. It's for a reason. You're seeing that tonight. I'm not trying to put a jinx on them, but this is who they've been all year. They'll get behind early in the first. They're not a good first-period hockey team. But guess what? What I love, and I think, if you're a 4-for-4 person in this city, you're a diehard. Okay? So that's it. You're a diehard. So for all my people out there that didn't take a step away but took a little step back from the Flyers, hey, I'm right with you. This is an organization that was stuck in the 70s. This is an organization that didn't want to outscan anybody. This was an organization that when you draft the guys, you call one of your best buds who's a hockey guy and be like, a real hockey guy, you know what I mean? You're like, what do you think? Well, he can fight. He's tough. Can he skate? And so, I'm so excited to have Flyers hockey really back. It's been talked about being back for a while, air quote, but it's officially back. You have young talent. The youth injection of this hockey team draws everybody back as it should. As it should. Nobody should have a problem with it. People should have an issue with how this organization was ran for the last 20-plus years. That's what they should have an issue with. Not people taking a little backdoor to the other teams in this city. You know what I mean? One team won a Super Bowl. The other team signed Bryce Harper. And the other team's got guys who just talk a lot and they get a lot of attention. And then you got the Flyers. Right? And you got a damn good hockey team right here. And it's exciting. It's exciting to have them back and really back. Look at a bunch of kids who can skate. Prove, Konechny. Right? The list goes on. Carter Hart. Right? We beg for a franchise goalie. We got one at 21 years old. We're getting our wish. Stars drive sports. Right? You need stars to drive your team. Not that Claude isn't a star or a great player, but you needed something new too. Right? And this is what you got. So be grateful, everybody, instead of fighting with each other. Let's be grateful that we got hockey back here. And it takes the attention away from a basketball team that wins games, but you don't know what's going on right now. And we'll talk about them later on. But just another great effort. You know, you go back a year ago, you're getting out. Did I just kick out? Or no? Okay. Well, going back a year ago, you're talking about you're getting outskated all night. You're getting outclassed all night in a game like this. And what a head coach does for a team comes to fruition tonight and this whole season with pretty much the same roster for the most part. Same roster for the most part. But you get more out of guys. And you see how important it is. And we talk about the Sixers, same thing.
And you talked about the youth movement. You
can't get this thing closer to your mouth?
There
you go. Have a conversation with it.
You talk about the youth movement, too, and how many times over the last 10, 15 years have you always watched everybody else in the NHL hit on these 18, 19-year-old stars that come in and, as you said, inject some energy and youth in it, and yet the Flyers just slow-played everybody, partially because, A, they didn't have those guys, but then, B, also because they were so nervous of rocking the boat and bringing someone up too soon, and then the likes of Nolan Patrick come around and bucks that trend, connect these young, and then you see all the young ones today, on today's team. Farabee, who's been up and down, down, probably be back up tomorrow for Carolina.
More than likely.
The young defensive men that we have, they're all young, to your point, in giving us life, giving us energy to some really good veterans that are starting to play well.
Yeah, I'm proven connecting here, the two guys for me. They just been like when knowing watching them come up, they were the guys. Like they can change it, they can skate. You know what I mean? They're playmakers essentially, right? So that's what excited me. And then the other guys just icing on the cake. Like Nolan Patrick gets forgot about because he's been out all year. But you go back to last year. I mean, kick and flat out play, we knew it, and it was finally like, wow, we brought a kid up this quick. Yeah. We didn't wait around. And the same thing with Carter Hart. Like there wasn't a wait around. There was like, oh, you can play. We always bitch and moan about this with the Phillies for years, and the Flyers got out of it. The Flyers said, you know what? No, we're not going with that. If a kid can play somewhere and he can make our hockey team better, he's going to come up here and prove to people if he can play or not. And that's what they've done. And I got to give credit to that. I really do. Because, I think that goes unnoticed sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
You bring a bunch of kids in and let them play with the vets you have, which are good ones. We talk about Van Reems, like you talk about Voracek, and then you talk about, obviously, your C. Yeah. And then the guys you bring in, like Niskanen and Hayes, the vets there, and then you bring kids. It's a perfect way to do it. I don't think you could have constructed a team better, essentially, than the way they went about this.
Unfortunately, Ron Hextall was the reason why most of these younger guys didn't come up. Guys like Carter Hart. Yep. A little hesitant, a little scared. Oh, I didn't think he was ready. You bring in Chuck Fletcher, and Chuck Fletcher just absolutely changes the whole landscape. He starts bringing all these guys up. Farabee makes the roster out of camp. Hart has been Carter Hart, one of the top goalies in the league all season long. And then to your point earlier, we were talking off the air, fresh perspective. Really shocked this team, bringing in Chuck Fletcher, an outside guy. Bringing in AV, who's been around the league and has had success in multiple teams, been to Stanley Cup twice. So you're bringing in a guy who knows what he's doing. And then you bring in a leader like Kevin Hayes. Kevin Hayes has been the spark that this team's been missing. And everybody hated the move. Everybody hated that he signed such a big deal. But
they're the ones that always work out to the team's advantage. When everybody doesn't like one, that's usually how it goes. And when everybody's in love with something, that's when a guy comes here and doesn't live up to expectations. That's how it's always been, which is fun.
Well, it's funny too because me and you went to that one open practice
training camp.
Camp. And we sat there and we saw Hayes working with I forget
a couple of younger guys.
A couple of younger guys, and it was just we sat there and said to each other like, this alone is worth the money that they paid him, just in the leadership aspect of what was going on. In reality, one of their first few workouts. Yeah, it was an early in camp, and he was working with guys that are now on the Phantoms.
Yeah, these guys that didn't even have a shot at making the pro roster.
But he was doing drills with them after the game, and it was so funny that me and you saw that, and we both said, all right, might not have been the greatest contract, but hey, it's working out now.
No, it absolutely is.
So let me get into the poll question for everybody just joining us. It is brought to you by Ambuck Services. That's AMBUCK Services.com. And you get 10% off. Just tell them A2D sent you to handle gutter guards, everything outside. Everything outside can get taken care of. AmbuckServices.com. 10% off. A2D sent you. Flyers will end up in first place in the Metropolitan Division. Do you agree or disagree with that statement? Boys, family out there, chime in. Let us know. We'll read it all off tonight. Do you agree or disagree? You can let us know Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and wherever you check wherever you are a podcast game. We're there. iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, iTunes. So iTunes and Apple Podcasts are the same thing. So that's just a double dip for you. But that's fine. You get where we're going. 4-2 Flyers, 9:24 left here in the third. And listen to me, tonight's such a to the poll question. Tonight's determines the whole shebang to me.
There's your stat right there.
You can't real quick. You can't lose tonight, be 5 back, and expect to make up that ground. I think that becomes insurmountable. I don't think you can make up that ground. Tonight's such a big game, and then it puts pressure so much on them. Like, where did this team come from? Where did these guys come from? I didn't even.
That was as of January 8th. They were the second wild card, 15 points behind the Capitals for obviously first in the Metro. And then as of obviously today, we're up 4-2, and we're currently 3 points behind. Finishing out, and then we're right there. We're literally a point behind them.
Yeah. Real quick, family answer. I want to get this on family for overloads on me. Chime in. Let us know. We already got Brian Ecker saying I disagree just because we're Philly and being underdogs is more fun. And Greg Strausbaugh. I didn't say that right. But you got it, Greg. I won't be mad if we finish second and beat Pitt round 1. Would be very satisfying. Yeah, anytime you beat Pittsburgh round 1, extremely satisfying. It's similar to beating the Cowboys.
Yep.
Right there. Quentin Bass says, I'm jumping on the bandwagon. Fly guys. Welcome. The
Let's
wagon's
go,
open.
Let's go,
The
Quentin.
wagon's open, baby. If you're a 3 for 3 and you're just not a hockey guy at all, we're opening the wagon. And if you don't like it, shut up. All right? Come on. It's a good time. Good save. That a boy. Now, I know Ralphie, and I'm going to continue to read off this and think about this. Ralphie had an issue with no Carter Hart tonight. So we're going to talk about that in a few, too. Ryan Broder said it's awesome to have a hockey team that actually knows how to skate. Been a while. No, it's been a long time. Tristan Russo, I hope the JVR injury doesn't slow him down. No, we were talking about before we came on, maybe 5-6 weeks, back for the playoffs, maybe some fresh legs. Hopefully it doesn't, but I think they'll be all right. Listen, they're coached well, and there's still a lot of talent here. So I believe in it. Greg says Farabee will take – I already said that. Brian Eckhart says who will replace JVR long-term, and then Greg obviously chimed in with
Farabee,
that, and it's Farabee. Sean Spielman, what's up, brother?
What up, Spells?
He said I have a huge Zamboner watching the Flyers offense, the speed and the skill and the passing.
In a post.
Right? That's what we're talking about. That's what I'm trying to say to people. The people that took a break or a little bit, took a step back, because this wasn't it. I used to joke around all the time, the guys on the hockey app there. Yo, I just watched Montreal outskate us all day. Like it looks like I'm skating out there. Like, why do I got to watch teams just outskate us? When are we going to get guys who can skate? And Matty would always shake his head. I don't know. They're coming. and two guys credit, they came. They came, and more coming.
It would have been a lot longer if they didn't get rid of Hextall.
It could have been longer, and you probably would have more talent because he was a great talent evaluator.
He really was.
So you got to give credit where credit's due.
Absolutely.
Bill Middlebrook said Chargers got something for Brady. I don't know. I didn't get any of that. And Rob Brinkman, Elliott, the backup, standing tall. You're right, brother.
Yeah, Rob.
You're right. And the Ralphie's thing, this is why, I know you got to get Carter on the road more at times, but Carter was on the road the second game in New York, wasn't he?
He played both games.
So, you know what I mean? You get him some work on the road, but then you also got another goalie. And I know people say you can't win with 2, but you can win with 2 good ones. You can't win with 2 bad ones.
Yeah.
Well, try to make 1 good one. You can win with 2 good ones if they both understand the role and are mentally locked in all postseason. You can.
Well, here's the beauty of having a guy like Brian Elliott. Well, one, you're going to be able to rest Carter Hart for the playoffs because the playoffs is inevitable at this point, I think, for the Flyers. So you have a guy like Brian Elliott who's been to the playoffs multiple times, knows that pressure, knows how to really find his zen, find his.
Yep.
He can help Carter Hart find that. So I think his leadership is going to be gold come playoff time for Carter Hart.
Yeah, and I have no issue with Elliott playing tonight. You would assumed with a home and home he would have gotten one of those games. You know what I mean? If you're thinking about it, But so when Hart gets both of them, you're like, all right, it's natural that you got to keep Elliott, locked in, as you said, mentally. You got to keep him locked in game wise. So he's done well against the Capitals for most part of this year.
Yep.
So I have no problem. Carter has had issues on the road. He had a good win in New York. Let's keep his spirits high.
Yeah, I agree.
Keep his spirits high.
He's 21. He's
you get
21.
a tough Washington team. Obviously, we know that. So let's give the veteran that game.
Yeah, he's 21.
You know,
he's 21.
especially with a back-to-back too. You play Carolina tomorrow.
So he'll play
Carter's
tomorrow.
getting that game.
Yep.
So, real quick, Flyers will end in first place in the Metropolitan Division. Do you agree or disagree with that poll? Let us know, fam. Chime in. I agree. I think they're going to win it. I think that, I don't think they're the hottest team in the NHL. All right, and they're scorching, and I don't think they're going to slow down. I think they figured out who the hell they are. I really truly believe this. They bought in. When you get a bunch of guys that buy into something, anything can happen.
Yep.
And you got a bunch of young talent and older vets, and a lot of guys who are buying in. Like Voracek, 6 assists. I don't know if he has one tonight, but 6 assists in the last 3 games. He doesn't have one tonight. So 6.
No, he's on.
No, he had the last one.
The
So that's
last one.
7. That's 7 and 4. That's 7 and 4.
Yeah.
So I know I give him a hard time around here, but that's showing up.
Did he block you?
I don't know,
Did he block
probably.
you on Twitter?
Probably. But I'm also going to give credit when a guy plays well too. When a guy's beating,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
A guy's a part of good things happening.
Yep.
I mean, he's another one. His contract is a little ridiculous, but he's going to come out there every year. He's going to give you 70 points a year.
Yeah, absolutely. You would
He's not a goal scorer. He ain't going to give you 20
would have
goals.
wished he was more of that goal scorer everyone hoped he was going to be.
Yeah.
But as long as he's providing that skating and the assist to play with G and take some of the pressure
I don't
off.
care. I don't care if you have 50 assists and 20 goals. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or 60.
that's a
Let's
great
go.
year. That's
Let's
another
go,
one.
baby.
Another
Let's go.
TK.
Let's go. Hey.
Hey, girl.
Is that TK again?
Yeah.
Oh, my son. My kid.
Did you see that? Did you see that look on Ovi's face?
Yeah,
He just
exactly.
looks-
So good.
Was it TK or is it Scotty?
No, I think it was Scotty. I think it was Lindbaum. Let me see again here.
No, it's
Oh,
TK.
It is TK.
It went off at TK. Lawton looked like he tried to set him up. Deflect.
No,
Oh,
off the skate. Off
That
the
is a
skate.
long
Washington.
goal.
Own goal.
That's a
Own
long
goal.
goal.
Own goal.
So it is Lindbaum.
Lawton.
Lawton.
No, it's Lawton. Okay.
Yeah. Linbaum's out.
Yeah, my bad. That's
Yeah.
on me.
No, that's all good.
I can't see.
There's still
I can't-
L's.
I got
They're
the
L's.
light in my face.
I agree to the poll. I absolutely agree. I mean, the way they're playing right now, as you said, they kind of found an identity. As much as they aren't a first-place team, they don't ever get too far behind. They might struggle in the
Oh, get another.
they
Get
might
another.
first period team. They might struggle in the first, but they're never behind in a game to where they can't come back.
No, and I love the aggressiveness right now. You're up 5-2. Learn a lesson from Sunday.
Yep.
Right? Learn a lesson. This is lesson time. And I like the aggressiveness they're still playing with right now. You know what I mean? You could take a step back, lose some emotion, but to me, they're taking the pressure to them. So I love to see that right after going up 5-2.
Yeah, now they're going to finish 3-0-1 against the Washington Capitals this year.
That's not a bad run.
Chrome
not at
saying Voracek undervalued. I think I agree with that to a point. And he says Hextall's the Ed Wade of the Flyers, and I completely agree with
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
Tony Cotillo, what's up, brother? He says Kevin Hayes, huge signing, career best, 25 goals at 23 already. This contract doesn't look bad now. No, not at all. Contract looks great now.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I was excited when they traded for him because I knew me being the all-around hockey guy that I am, I don't just watch the Flyers. I knew what they were getting in Kevin Hayes.
Yep.
I knew they weren't going to get a flashy guy, but he's shown that he's been flashy, but I also know he's a great two-way player.
Save.
And, he's got a few short-handed goals because he likes to create.
As
but,
evident by that, right?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it was a great deal. I like everybody else, I thought it was a little too much money, but, he's worth the money. He's showing that he's worth the money.
Absolutely. Quentin Bass says, Broad Street talk. You know it, baby. You know it. Sean Spielman says, 5, baby. 4-0-1 versus the Caps this year. That matters. It matters. It matters how you play against the top. We talk about the Sixers. We always fell back before the injuries. Well, the only team in the NBA to beat the top 4 seeds in both conferences.
On both sides.
Now we can't use that, but for the Flyers, it means something too. Because you're on a run for first place in your division. So, to me, that matters even more how you play against the best. That shows me, come playoff time, what you can be. Because that's when you're going to play everybody. And it shows me how you match up. And when you have an issue with a team, you have an issue with a team. When you just own a team, you own them. So, I already like that. I'll see them anytime they want in the playoffs. When I own somebody like that in the regular season.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come see me. Brinkman said, Elliott standing tall again. Yeah, he is. And Sean Spielman says, can the Flyers get a new song instead of that dog shit they started using when they're in the check? You think Meek Mill makes a song for them.
I actually agree with him on that. I hate that goal song. I hate their goal song. It's so
I wish
annoying.
it went back to Dupe.
So do I. I actually just heard that the other day.
Yeah. Did you answer the poll?
Yeah, to the poll. Do they win the Metropolitan? Do you agree or disagree? They win the Metropolitan.
I think they do. They're just getting better as every game goes on. It's like you said, they start off slow in the first period, but tonight they start off a little slow. They started to find it a little bit more in the back end of the first, and they get better as games go on.
Yep.
And they're just by the third period, they are statistically the best third period team in all of hockey right now, and
that's time.
Huge. That's huge.
That's like being the best, third quarter / fourth quarter team in the NBA. You know what I mean? Like when you're just that dominant late in games, that matters.
Yeah.
And anybody that doesn't think that matters is clueless to me.
And you also look.
That shows me they can go win the Stanley Cup. Because people out there that don't believe it. There's still people out there locally and nationally that don't believe it. That shows me a lot. Two things: how you play against the best, and how are you late in games.
Yep.
And when it's check and check, well, I wouldn't want to see them.
No.
And even go back into earlier in the season. They've been playing the Capitals well all season long. They played the Blues well in the I believe 2 times they played. They may have to play them one more time, but in St. Louis they played them really well. They played Boston really well all season long.
They got down big in that St. Louis game and came back.
They
and won
did
it.
Absolutely. I mean,
Toughness.
they got down 3-0 to Tampa Bay, came all the way back, wound up losing that game. But the fact that came all the way back, it says a lot about this team. I see it all the time on the Hockey Happy Hour. This team is resilient, and resiliency is going to pay off come playoff time.
I agree.
And what it is too, part of that is they're so deep. They don't come in the second and third period and have to cut off their fourth line because they're not producing. They're getting productivity from each of their 4 lines, and all 3 of their deep pairing. Obviously, their deep pairing is blowing up because they have the most defensive goals or defensive points in the NHL.
Because look
something like that. Yeah.
Look at how this team's constructed. You just said it yourself. You just said how deep it is. That's all that matters. The deepness. So you're just checking off boxes now. That's all we're doing. We're checking off how good they are in the third period, right? We're checking off how good they are against good teams. We're checking off how deep they are. We're checking off how their skill position players are, right? When you talk about the youth and the vets, and guys can hurt you in different ways. It's lines are different. Like you're not getting the same line every time,
right?
So it's like they can hurt you in so many different ways. Like we're checking so many boxes that like I'm all in. Like if I'm at the poker table right now, my chips are all in that this team goes to the Stanley Cup. You know why? Ralphie? Because nobody all year had thought the team had a shot for the cup. Like 2017 Eagles. Nobody before the year was like, Super Bowl, that's who we are. Nobody was. Same type of thing. It's a team that can go win one. They can go win one.
And they talk about depth. They got deeper at the trade deadline, getting Nate Thompson and Derek Grant.
You're right.
Derek Grant's got 5 points in 3 games with the Flyers.
Yeah.
He's got 2 tonight.
It's like the Joe Blanton effect. It's like the guy that you're like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's the guy that wins a game for you in the postseason. That's the guy that scores a late goal that you advance on. That's how it goes. That's how it goes.
Yeah, Grant's goal on Sunday was the one that really kind of put that game out of reach.
I believe it made it 3-1.
It was 3-1 or 3. Yeah, 3-1.
Pove in the house saying, "Yup, D-man."
What up, Crumb?
He said goals number 1 in the NHL. Greg says great pickup at the trade deadline, and they're amazing on the penalty kill tonight.
Yeah,
yes, they are.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, power play could have been a little bit better,
this
but
is very potent of a power play. Anytime you have Ovechkin on the top power play
that's
line,
fine. Yeah, you don't want to see.
You don't want to give them any chances, and they shut them down.
Well, you know what?
That's
it's
another
energy
thing.
effort on the road. It's energy effort on the road. It's energy effort. I mean, look at this team. They're still out skating guys right now. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I begged for years. I mean, we're still out skating teams with a minute to go in a 5-2 game. You're finishing. You're finishing.
And somebody
right?
just took a high stick.
And Chrome said they take on the personality of their head coach. Absolutely factual that this team takes on the personality of their head coach.
Well, here's the big
Martini
difference between Hackstall and AV. AV's been holding his guys accountable. When somebody fucks up, they're going right out. He's going right after them, and he's going to call him out. Hackstall, I don't think ever did that.
Right.
He was very close to the chest, like player friendly. AV's for the most part, I feel like
he was a college guy.
He was very much a college guy. Like I said, with the experience and all that, like he knows how to handle players. He knows how to handle accountability and when to hold guys accountable and when to have to rip a guy.
Yeah, they were talking
absolutely.
about about a week ago. Like, I forget what player we're talking about, but he was just saying like he knows when to push us, he knows when to give us a day off, he knows when he's got to get us on the ice, and he's got a great feel for the team, and when you start hearing that from players, it's game over.
Yeah,
it's game over.
They bought in.
Yeah, because one says it, they all say it. One buys in, they all buy in. You might have a couple guys that just never buy in. That's part of just every team in the
pro
world.
sports.
I mean, this is what, 6 in a row for the Flyers now?
Seven.
They're 7?
7.
They're bought in.
Still taking shots. I love it.
7 in a row, and then now 9 of their last 11.
Yeah.
Hottest team in the NHL, maybe the
Quite
hottest
hot.
team in sports. And listen, it's been a pleasure to have him back. Yeah, I just can't say it enough. And you guys can all say, hey, Tom, you're talking hockey now? I talk hockey since '82. I came out the womb and I was talking hockey. So I don't like that narrative. You know what I mean? When it comes to the Flyers, like my dad watches, and he'll attest to this. My dad watches Flyers over Sixers. It both on. He'll flip back and forth, but he'll leave Flyers on longer.
I usually watch Flyers over 6.
No, but my dad does. I'm saying. So I grew up like that. Me personally, if both teams are equal, I watch Sixers deeper. But if they're both on, obviously I'm going back and forth. But to me, it's like, you can't miss Sixers games. Flyers for years has been like, okay, it's the same thing. Same thing. Nobody knew.
Since like 2013.
Yeah, nobody knew. Oh, we can fight. Like now it's like, we're talking about a minute left in that game and they were still taking it to them.
Yeah,
Welcome back, baby.
That was a big
Let's
win,
go.
5-2.
Let's go.
Because that poll question could have went either way depending on this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
If that game was close or we were down 5-2, obviously most people probably disagree to the poll.
Oh, I was agreeing probably like when you sent the email.
Yeah,
because I had a feeling that they were going to come out and win tonight. The more I've watched full games now this year, the more I see.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you see. And I've been in, but before probably, let's say 2 weeks ago, I don't know if I got a chance to watch a full game. And I finally did, and I've been able to since. And then I'll sort of lock myself in a little more than just like, oh, they're on. I have it on, but I'm doing sort of other things.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not locking in.
It's not background noise.
Yeah. Now I'm locked in. I hope if you got a problem with it, come sit next to me, and we'll debate why you're an issue. Because I've been a 4-4 guy my whole life. You know what I mean? I'm just being real with you. What the Flyers organization did and why they drove some people. And I don't want to say away, but it's saying, okay, you don't want to change. You want to be the same. It's the same MO since the 70s. I'm done. I'm done till you go do something. And then Hextall brought in, oh, wow, now we got a guy who can evaluate talent. Now we got a guy, even though he was a former guy here, I hated that to a point, but I respected, I knew what he did in L.A.
Yeah, he went away enough.
And he went away enough to be able to do something somewhere else and come back, so I had confidence in that, right? So, but still, there was a certain crumb roaming the halls still. There was a certain crumb who had no right being any part of this organization. You know who I'm talking about.
I do.
Don't tell the people.
I'm not going to tell people. Brian can tell the people.
Lil Paul Holmgren.
I know who exactly you're talking about.
Okay? That guy shouldn't have been part of anything and kept getting a pay raise and a new job title. What? This team was slop. And this guy's evaluating talent. This guy's our guy. And then finally, light bulbs went off and said, we got to go outside of this organization. Hextall, Fletcher, boom.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the Hextall was the beginning of like, we're going out, but we're still a little in because we're so uncomfortable going outside our own organization. And they finally grew a sack and did it. And then Fletcher's the other one. And then you have guys that there's none of that old school way of thinking here in this organization anymore. It's fresh ideas, fresh thinkers to how the game's played now, right? And that's so important. And then you obviously have now, fast forwarding to the players, the young players that Hextall was a part of developing and getting here, and you start to see that, and then you start to give the respect on the way it all went about. But it took a while, a long time, for them to change their ways.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to say since early 2000s, the game to me got a lot quicker.
Yep.
Like
Oh,
real
no, it
fast.
really did.
Yeah.
Like real fast. And they never – there were certain guys who could, but overall, 1 through 4 line-wise,
No,
it
you're
was
right.
nothing
You're right.
like it
As a team-
was.
As a team, once they got past the second line, they were at a huge disadvantage.
Yep.
Most nights.
And
Most
obvi-
teams, now you're running 3 scoring lines. Most teams were running 2 scoring lines, a checking line, and an energy line.
Right.
So you were going up against teams who had enforcers and bullies and goons, and you don't see it now. And that's what the Flyers were for a few years, and they're finally starting to wake up. Chuck Fletcher had a lot of success in Minnesota building that team.
Yep.
And he built a fast team, a good defensive team. And
what
he's starting to do
what
now.
was the key word?
Success.
Well, the second one. Then the second one. It was something and something. It was fast.
Oh, yeah.
Start with an F.
Fast the
Fast.
key word. Fast
Yeah.
the key word. I got to outsskate people in this league. I can't dump and not beat you to the damn puck. What was that do? I check you into the boards, but you already got rid of it? That's cute. So I'm not going to beat you up to win anymore. It's got to be a combo. Yeah, you got to be tough. Yeah, you got to be physical. Yeah, you're going to have a guy on your team that can scrap and get into it and throw hands. I get all that still. It's all part of hockey, but I got to be able to go around you.
Yep.
I need playmakers, right? We were talking about tonight, like sometimes in all sports you get a little too unselfish. Like tonight's like shoot the puck.
Yeah.
When you got 5 guys in front of the net, essentially, put the puck on net. Good things happen.
Yeah. And even though it didn't work out, even, Dave Hackstall wasn't outside the organization,
Yeah,
outside the box. He just didn't work out.
No, it
Yeah.
was just
You know what I mean?
it
But
was
he
tried to
just
bring a
filler.
college
It
mentality.
That's a filler.
It started that mentality, though, of, hey, you're absolutely right. Yeah, Hextall, Ronnie was in, but he was essentially out. So it started that mentality. It's just Hackstall didn't work out.
Yeah. He brought a college mentality, and it didn't really translate well to the NHL
Right.
level.
It
And the
happens.
players didn't buy in.
More than we all think.
Yeah, it
happens.
absolutely happens.
Ricky Galone, what's up, boys?
What
How
up,
about
Rick?
them Flyers?
Oh,
How about them Flyers,
They're
Ricky?
hot, baby.
Robbie Pope said the first time me and him talked was Flyers and Howard Stern. That's the first things we talked about. so Rob can attest to, where I've been.
Yeah.
Robbie Pope says also 2009 to 2012 was some good Flyers teams. Yes, good, but to me, it still wasn't a change.
But even that, he stopped in 2012.
That was when they started the full
what's
rebuild.
the last 8 years?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
It was a rebuild. It
No,
was exactly what it
absolutely.
was.
it's a long
But
rebuild.
it was a very long. It was too long. And again, that's part of the reason why they got rid of Hextall is they were like, listen, we've been rebuilding for 6 or 7 years.
Yeah,
Like
people
it's
aren't
time
gonna
to start.
tolerate- People aren't going to tolerate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we weren't. I think we weren't. Overall as a fan base here. I think if you talk to most Flyers fans, and I always tell people, one guy said about A2D, and not Zeke or Mark McLean, we're having fun with each other.
Yeah.
But one guy said about A2D, you guys aren't allowed to post about the Flyers now. I'm like, bro, we had a Flyers dedicated show since the beginning of this company, which is 5 years that Maddie and Pove and me essentially brought a hockey show here as a second show, but almost as 2 shows at the same time.
Right.
It wasn't even a second show like that. It was both were coming in at the same time. These were our first 2 shows in this company. So don't ever question how I feel about hockey or the goddamn importance of hockey. You want to question how I feel about wrestling, like our wrestling shows here. I love my wrestling shows. But how long did it take for me to allow that to happen?
4 years.
Yeah, we talk about hockey. We talk about hockey. That was a day winner.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started here, you were talking. Somebody brought it up to you. That's hell no. We ain't doing no wrestling shows on here.
Yep.
Pete Evan chimes in on YouTube.
What up,
Great,
Pete?
Great
Yo,
win for
Pete.
Fly Guys tonight. Absolutely, brother.
Listen, if you disagree with this poll, I think y'all need to check your polls and maybe some eyesight because you just haven't been watching enough, or you're just that negative and you just don't want to believe, and that's fine too.
Let them not believe then. I mean, I'm a believer. I thought they were going to be a wild card team at best this year. Sure showed me.
No, I mean
I'll
fair.
take this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, and there was some question marks heading into the year.
Yep.
That was a valid assessment. You had a new coach. How quickly was he going to get his system implemented? You had young defensemen. How well are they going to play on a long-term period? You know, and And did you have the depth scoring that you ultimately do have? And we didn't know that going into the year. You had hoped for it, and if you got it, then we're getting what we got now.
All right, well, here's something that I haven't even brought up on the Hockey Happy Hour yet, and I'm going to bring up now. Ultimately, one of the things that has helped them be successful is they've been healthy.
Yes.
There have been no major injuries. I mean, obviously, JVR is probably, I think, going to be the most serious injury they've had all year. But another thing is... Outside of Patrick, yeah. They don't have losing streaks. They'll lose one, maybe two, and then they'll jump right back and win another 3 or 4.
Yeah,
the longest losing streak they had is 4 games all year, and that was the West Coast.
Yeah, we want to know what you think.
And that was early.
What you think's the main reason this team is where they are right now? What do you give most credit to? Mine's a little outside the boxer. I think all them OT games early on in the year really brought them together and helped them get an identity of toughness late in games. Yeah. I think looking back on it now, I didn't like it back then. Remember I told you, I said, this is too many. Yeah. We're in OT too much. Too much extra skate, and some jabron was like, well, the Blues did it. Okay, great, bro. The Blues did it. The Blues played the most OT games, and they won a cup. Okay, how often does that happen? Because I know fresher legs are important when you talk about playoff hockey.
Yep.
So buy yourself a damn clue.
Yep.
So I didn't like it, but I think it brought out so much. It helped them get an identity of toughness early on and really bring them together. I think it was important. And to gain the points early on were important, the confidence and staying in it. And, with a new coach, I think you see them putting it all together throughout this season as they've gotten better. We thought about getting better in the third, right?
Yep.
That's getting better late in games. So to me, that translates, I'm going to get better as the season goes on too, and I'm going to get better in the postseason. That's what it all translates to me. I'm telling you where we're going, Greg and Bri and Ralphie. Guess where we're going? We're running to, Ralph. You got 5 for the toll, baby. You got 5 on it? Because we're going. We're going, little broad. I'll see you. Woo! Let's go.
I'll drive.
Mark McClain said 7 straight. Jake Friel, this might be the best Flyers team I've seen, at least in my lifetime.
Yeah, Jake's a little young.
Yeah, puppy talk.
Little young pup.
You weren't here for the Lindros days, baby. That's the best team I've seen.
Little young pup.
But this team can easily pass them.
Yep, that 97 team was ridiculous.
Eddie Brown Jr., can we say it was a genius to start Elliott tonight and save Hart for Carolina tomorrow?
I don't know. Where you at, Ralphie? Where you at, Ralph?
I think so.
I mean, Carolina's a tough team, too. They made a bunch of good trades at the deadline, so it's going to be a test. But
Philly 0-2-4. We're going to the Cup. I feel it. Fire emoji. Does Farabee come up with JVR out for a bit? Yeah, we assume so, yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah, maybe Frosty, but Farabee's the
Farabee
guy.
or Frost, but Farabee's the more seasoned.
You don't
got to.
Yeah. That's not even a question for me, but I understand which direction they would go.
Yeah.
You shouldn't ask me that question because it's Frost. Like I'm a puppy lover. I love puppies. Run around. I go to my sister's. I take care of her puppy a little bit in the afternoon. I'm a puppy guy. So bring me up as many puppies as you can get, as I can get here. We got so many coming in. Ricky Glone coaching. They found out how to scrap and put it in the rebounds, and Carter Hart coming into his own as a franchise goalie.
Yeah.
Yep.
He had a rough start to the year, and he found his groove, and he hasn't missed a step since.
Stella got his groove back.
Yeah, he did. Started off rough. Positioning was his biggest issue early on in the year, and it is what it is.
Yeah, just don't even restart that now, because we'll go to the next 20 minutes and we'll take a break, and we come back. We'll restart it again when we go in the Phillies. So, everybody over on there, we'll just comment in. I'll drop the YouTube link in there for the family. But everybody on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, we're still here. Facebook, things happen. They start we'll get static out of nowhere. I mean, we're 40 minutes in. It's crystal clear. Nobody had issues last night. And then, hey, it's Wednesday. Tom's here.
Tom and Greg are on.
Tom's here.
It's unreal. It really is unreal. My biggest thing, and I mentioned it earlier on in the show, is just the depth. Depth scoring, especially along all 4 lines. The depth we added at the trade deadline. To be able, and as you said, to be able not to sustain a super major injury in season and multiple at the same time has allowed this team to grow, to stay deep, and produce along all 4 lines.
Yeah. For me, it's a little out there, but I think it's been one player, and I think it's been Kevin Hayes. His ability, his leadership on and off the ice, his inability to not, and Jason Martinez said this last week, he doesn't shut the fuck up. And I'm pretty sure I just quoted him. He doesn't shut up. He's always talking. He's always on the bench trying to lighten the mood, trying to get the guys back in it. He's always talking. And that is huge, especially with younger guys. Because when you're behind and you're a young pup, you're sitting there thinking like, man, what do I got to do on my next shift? You got Kevin Hayes sitting down there cracking jokes in warm-ups about, they got your iPod on here. You know, he's cracking jokes all the time. He's trying to keep it light. So, you know, Kevin Hayes has been a huge spark to this team. He's been a difference maker for me.
That's a great. I mean, that's great. That's great because again, we talk about a contract people didn't like, blah 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 blah. It ends up being one of your most important players.
Yep.
To me, you know, I'm going to give it to the C. You know, you want to talk about players. I'm going to give it to Giroux. You know, a guy who's been here forever, has taken a lot of heat, A, B, C, and D. There's finally a talented roster with him here. You know, I got to give him a ton of credit for these kids too. You know, and their ability to come in and make plays early, right? I mean, I'm gonna give it to the city. I don't think he's got enough respect in this city, and I think it's time to put some damn respect on his name.
Absolutely.
Especially if they win the Metropolitan and the way they won it, coming out of essentially nowhere. If they can win it like that, right? If they can win it like that, and then you know if they can make a run in the playoffs and get to a cup. I mean, this guy would deserve a ton of credit. And if they win a cup, it's a guy who deserves a damn statue then. Because it's a guy that's gone through a lot of different phases of being a Philadelphia Flyer, and the C gets a lot of heat when you lose, just like a coach. But when you win, where's his credit?
It's got to get the credit.
You know, and I just think he deserves that credit. He's going to need to deserve that credit back.
I absolutely think he's one of the most underappreciated athletes in this town, and I don't know why. Last 10 years, he's been top 5 in points overall. He just overtook the power play assist record from Bobby Clark. We're possibly looking at, with Claude Giroux, one of the best Flyers of all time, if not the best Flyer of all time. And people are going to feel differently about it.
Yeah, but you know why they'll never give it to him? Because the 70 junkies who still can't get away from the 70s are going to go Bobby, who can't leave a bar without doesn't leave a bar having a clue where his car is. He's never left the bar and known where he's parked. Okay, so you understand what I'm saying? Because this is the problem, Brian. It's the problem with this city sometimes. All right, they're so stuck. They can't remove themselves from something a while ago, and the Flyers finally did, and they obviously did. You know,
playoff time and all this other stuff. No, he does a lot of the other little things in the playoffs. He might not find a score sheet, but he's always doing something. That's why he's the captain. That's he doesn't always find a score sheet every night, but he's always doing something to spark his team. Whether it be a hit, a check, maybe a good defensive play.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. So
no, I mean, I love the guy. You know, and I've given him heat. And if you would have asked me 2 years ago, I would have traded him for the best offer you could get. Because I just thought this team needed to go in a different direction.
We argued about that on the air one time.
Yeah, so I just thought this team needed to go in a whole new, fresh direction because they weren't at the time, and they went in a fresh direction at once with saying, okay, well, who do we have that can play here? Well, Voracek can play, Giroux can play, so we'll keep them and we'll try to work around that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's what you say, and I'm totally cool with that. But at the time, there was like no direction. It's like, what is this team's identity? When you go back a little bit, who are they? You know what I mean? And finally, there was a change, and I think, credit goes to everybody, but that's the problem. People need to get away from the 70s.
Yeah.
Yep.
Over here on YouTube, Peter, Flyers haven't won a series since 2011. It probably stay that way. They can't beat the Caps in a regular season. They can beat the Caps in a regular season, but not the playoffs.
Why?
Yeah, it's a different team, though. It's a different team.
Why can't they be in the playoffs? Because of past experiences?
Because of past experiences.
That's what I'm saying. It's a different team.
Grow up then. They wouldn't be able to beat them in the regular season like this either.
Well, those teams
we've
never
always
really
struggled.
Yeah,
with the Capitals in the regular season.
But also those teams that have faced the Capitals at those points, they never really truly found their identity, and they have one now. And we see the resiliency that this team always brings every game. Yeah, slow start. Sometimes they're going in to intermission down 1, 2, maybe 3, but they always fight and claw their way back.
Absolutely.
And I think you're going to see the same thing come playoff time.
No, you're completely
All
right.
right, great.
Philly 0-2-4, Tom Wilson and Gudis on the same team, top scumbag duo right there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
ain't that the
absolutely.
truth?
Pove and Wade Dirksen with the a similar comment. Cooch has been vital too, and then Wade Dirksen. Without Cooch, none of this is possible. And I think that
That's
goes.
the way
My
player.
bad. I mean, you know what? That's terrible out of me. Honestly, I should punch myself square in the fucking mouth. I mean, that's horrendous that throughout this whole conversation that I've left that name out of there. Oh, you want to talk about an underrated guy that I just forgot about like that? A guy who's a two-way guy. We talk Pomsy in basketball. Is your Poms effect in hockey? Right? That's on me.
But
I take full responsibility.
He's
That
best two-way
goes.
player in hockey right now.
Damn,
Yeah.
I'm a crumb.
That goes along too, though, with the shift with Giroux a couple years ago. Is they finally realized how good Giroux was playing alongside Couturier.
Mm-hmm.
And when they put Couturier and they moved Giroux to the wing, put Couturier on that line with him, they both flourished.
Took off.
They both flourished as a group. And I think, to your point, when you're like 2 years ago, yeah, I would have traded him. I was on the same boat. And it wasn't anything a knock against Giroux. It was just at the time, he was the only one that you were going to trade
To
that
get
would have
anything.
gotten something back.
Yeah.
And
If anything.
that switch is what we're seeing here now.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another one.
The Ducks.
Yeah,
Quack,
you're
quack,
right,
quack.
Greg.
Ricky Galone, Giroux, and Coots are the most well-rounded, as we just said, most well-rounded players on this team. Don't get it twisted. This team thrives on G's leadership. Agreed.
Yep.
Philly 0-2-4, Hayes signing. Got a lot of flack at first with the salary, but he's been nothing but great this year. And, yeah, we've touched on that a bunch, and he's absolutely correct.
Yeah, absolutely.
2-1 here, Ducks. We're watching the Ducks Avalanche, which is the game on after the Flyers. I know Brian's pretty happy, right, with this one.
Yeah, it's not often like my with my PlayStation being on the fritz, we'll call it. I don't get to watch them enough, so every once in a while.
You said Wade Dirksen said without Kuz, none of this is possible. Yeah. No, I mean, that's just – he's not wrong. He's not wrong at all.
Without one of those three that were mentioned, G, Voracek, Couturier, the Flyers aren't in the same position.
Agreed.
No, but that's the whole thing. It was like, which direction are you going to go? Are you going to build around these guys? And can you do it quick enough, right, at the time? Or are you going to move these guys and just start completely over, right? And what they decide to do, which I think was, looks to be genius right now, is saying, well, we can draft well and develop quickly enough that we're going to be able to get guys up here and play with these guys. So let's do it this way. And I think they made a smart decision.
Yeah, I think they did a great job, especially bringing all right. So last year defensively they were pretty bad.
Yeah.
Went out, you traded the liability Radko Gudas to get Matt Niskanen, which I thought was a great deal because he's been one of the top two defensemen all season long. And I like bringing in Justin Braun because Justin Braun is another guy who's been to a Stanley Cup final. He brings experience. He's been around. He can help. These two guys are going to help mold the defensemen into what they are. It sucks that Shane Gostisbehere is not really a part of it, but these young guys are coming in. They're playing well because you have good leadership back there, not guys like Andrew McDonald.
Yeah.
Crumbs.
Guys that have no right being a part of it.
Yep.
No, you're right. I mean, it's all when you talk about this kind of thing, it's like everything coming together.
No, absolutely.
Every little facet. We can talk about everything, like everybody's importance to where this team is, from coaching to up top to performances to youngsters to vets to fight. And for people to say this team won't win a playoff series, I mean, shit, buy yourself a clue because I'll take that bet because I always I'll say you can tell a lot by a team how they finish. And how they finish this season so far, how they finish games. That all ties into me is they're going to finish in the postseason well too, and they have the talent to. It's not like it's a crazy thought process to think this team can't go to an Eastern Conference. Is it still Eastern Conference?
Yeah, Eastern Conference Finals.
So Eastern Conference Finals or Stanley Cup. There's no reason to think they can't.
I mean, they're definitely going to compete. No, I'm with you.
Now they're going to win a cup. I don't know. But, I mean, the hottest teams usually down the stretch are the ones that go win the damn thing.
The ones that compete, the ones that go deep, are the ones that have a roster built like the Flyers have right now.
Right.
And you have your scoring on your top two. You have some scoring on a third, but you have guys that can play physical and bang the body and tire other teams out. And one thing that we haven't brought up yet is their transition game, their ability to move back on ice when they have a turnover in the neutral zone. They've done that quick all year, and it goes back to being able to skate well. And that's, again, something they've been doing well all year. It leads to odd man rushes.
You're right. Well, Wade Dirksen says, have to say Fletch looks like a genius with the Grant and Thompson acquisitions. Yep, you're right, brother. We talked about that earlier on. Bill Middlebrook, stuck in the 70s. It takes a real fan to hang on for 40 years. Example, it's easy to be a Yankee fan. No, I don't know. Are you taking a shot at me because I said some of the diehards are stuck in the 70s? Like, yeah, no. I mean, I was born in 82, Bill. So, like, I've been stuck since 82. I don't know. I'm just making a point. Like, some of the diehards, they get stuck in the 70s, and the Flyers were. It was like a combo. So that's all I'm saying.
It's not the bullies anymore. It's not that type of league.
He's just always coming at me with dumb shit sometimes. I love you. But sometimes, Bill, I mean, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm spot on with my assessment. Okay, anybody thinks I'm not spot on with this Flyers assessment, I've been fucking spitting out for coming up on an hour now. Then come in and debate me on that this franchise went in a different direction at some point since like the last like 4 years. Okay, you come freaking debate me on it because I'll freaking expose you to not even having a clue about hockey then on how these rosters were built. Okay, the lack of goaltending. We'll go sign the 36-year-old guy who used to be great. Like, we'll go sign a goalie who's a freaking lunatic. You know what I mean? And the things that they went through, we went through goalie-wise since Hextall, essentially. You know what I mean? And he hurt his groin early on in his career, and he was always banged up a little bit. It was like Randall at times. You know what I mean? He was in, he was out, he was in, he was out. You know, and I don't think you really got to see the full potential of him. No, because of the injury early on in his career, because that rookie year when they went to the Cup, he played so much that he hurt his groin, and I don't want to say never was the same, because that's not fair, but, like, it affected him for the rest of his career. You're going back a long time. Now, you sit out, you get the right treatment, you're golden with a groin. But that's another reason. Now, Hextall's not a part of it, but it's another reason why, they're being smart with Carter Hart, too.
Yeah.
It's about mileage early on, too, where how much can you withstand and hold up to the endurance side and everything that comes with it.
I mean, to jump on your point there, Tom, like, even before Hextall took over as a GM, they were building the team to be a Broad Street Bully team, a team that was stuck in the 70s, 80s, 90s. And then you bring in a guy like Hextall who has an idea of how to build a team, but he took a little too long. And you bring in a guy like Chuck Fletcher who knows how to build a team, a playoff team that is going to compete.
It's steps, and it's the right ones, like how they went about it. Like, that GM doesn't need to be the GM for the rest of the time. Then that's your GM to replenish, get fish in the pond.
And that's what Hextall did. That's what Hextall was.
And that's what Hextall was. And Hextall was your same thing. It was just a transitional guy. Let's get some different thoughts in here.
Let's try something different.
It's more, hey, can I develop players? Because that's what I'm used to doing at the college level is development. So can I develop guys as a coach more so than my X's and O's are great? I think that was a part of that hire too. And then you transition to guys who have been in the playoffs, been around playoff teams, and you're coaching your GM. Game over. Now it's you two. Go win a cup.
And now they're not going out there making splashes for guys who are, like you said, are 36, the end of their careers.
Yep.
That are just the name in the league at this point.
James Van Riemsdyk. Like. No, not James Van Riemsdyk.
I was going to use guys like Peter Forsberg.
Yeah, Forsberg. Oh, my God. Who's the goalie?
Ilya Bryzgalov.
No. Before that. I used to play with him all the time in NHL. It began with
Bobrovsky?
No, he was from the Panthers. Oh, my God.
John Van Beesbrook.
Van Beesbrook. My God, I drew a blank. Van Beesbrook.
The little guy. We all jumped on that one.
Example. That's a good example.
That haunts me. It haunts me. To this day, that deal haunts me because it was like, is he still good? I was younger, but, like, he can still play, right? Like, did we get our goalie? No, we didn't get our goalie.
But another example of that is Jeff Hackett. He's another guy who was a name in the league at one point. He was a solid goaltender his entire career. Came to Philly at the end of his career. He's like 37, 38 years old at the end of his career. He didn't do shit. And then they also bring in guys like Robert Esch, who's a fucking head case, that guy.
Oh, the list goes on. I mean, you could – oh, my God. I mean, if we did names on this, it's like
another one.
It's like the Cleveland Browns quarterbacks over the years. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's bad. It's like, wow, really him?
Yeah.
That was your starter? Okay.
That's what everybody says about Ilya now.
Yeah, Ricky says it's a lot for a 20-year-old, and I guess he's talking about Carter Hart. And he's 21, but still, you're right. I mean, 21, 20, same thing.
Absolutely.
As great as he is, you still got to remember he's a pup, and he needs to be brought along different than Elliott. And I think they've done a great job doing that.
Agreed.
Yep. Facts.
And that's why they kept him that's why they re-signed him, to bring him back, because he's a guy who's been around. He's 35 years old. He's been in the league a while. He's been in the playoffs. He's been in the Stanley Cup. He's going to help bring him up the way that he should, and he's going to keep that positive mentality in Carter Hart, saying, "Oh, you're not getting the start tonight, even though you want it, but it's fine.
Yep.
Just you're 20, you're 21, you're going to have your time. Just take it a day at a time, take it a step at a time."
And the other side,
Bill wasn't taking a shot at me. Sorry. Here's my point: is it was hard to be excited or talk about them with so many letdowns.
Yeah.
And I agree, because the Lindros years, you thought you were going to get one.
And then Scott Stevens came across the middle.
Yep, and then
Every
ruined
year.
that.
Yep.
Yeah, yearly.
Every year.
It's like your taxes. Scott's coming. Tax season's coming.
Yeah, death taxes, Eric Lindros concussion. Death taxes, Lou Will making buckets.
Lindros concussion. Lindros concussion from Stevens. Every time. Stop putting your head down, skating down the ice in New Jersey, please. It's a head-up state.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better.
Wipers on, lights on.
If it makes you feel like Lindros wasn't the only one Stevens did that to.
No, I know. Yeah,
No, it just so happened to
He did it
be
to everybody.
our best player. And, thanks, we got a generational guy who's huge, but can outskate you, and is a great goal scorer. I mean, we go to a
He
final.
did it to a lot of people. He did it to Paul Correa, too.
Oh, we crush people.
Oh, he crushed Paul Correa. I thought Paul Correa died
And
in
he
the
just-
Stanley Cup
yeah,
final.
yeah.
Scrambled eggs in the
He
brain.
just laid there. I'm like, is he alive?
Yeah, Paul's dead. Bill would have said he's
He might
paralyzed.
be paralyzed.
He can't remember 3 days after that hit.
Oh, I wouldn't remember 2 months. Rick Malone says Yager. I love Yager, but there was no need for him.
Yeah.
And he said, that's another good example.
It's like, oh, yeah. And, oh, my God. What was it? Paul Coffey's.
Adam Oates.
Adam
I mean,
Oates.
I like
Adam Oates.
Paul Coffey. Paul Coffey had a few good years.
Adam Oates. Tony Amonte.
Yeah. Oh, Monty.
There you
Tony
go.
Amonte.
All the
Tony
guys that
Amonte.
were good. Like, oh, we're bringing him in? That's cool.
I used to love Adam Oates just because of the name, because he'd be like, Adam Oates.
And he's like, you
Adam
got
Oates.
Adam Oates.
Forsberg a little late.
Oh,
Maybe you should just had Forsberg from the beginning.
yeah.
We talked about that the other night. I mean, I'm not trying to go back. I mean, I'm an animal. But let's take a break. That was some.
Real quick, though.
Yeah.
Flyers winners is 7 in a row. Colorado also winners is 7 in a row. But the Blues winners of 8 in a row.
Really?
Yeah.
Here they come.
I was just checking that.
Wow.
17 games left for the Flyers, 9 at home, 8 obviously on the road.
Wow, that's amazing that they just. Hey. Trying to go get a
even
cup.
funnier-
With a Flyer guy.
Wait, yeah, I was about to bring that up with the guy who had no success as a coach here.
Don't, I can't. Zero credit for the coaching job. That's all. It's all players. It's all players. This is Aim and the PM family. Don't go anywhere, because on the other side, we got a lot coming to you. We're going to get in a little Sixers road trip continues. Again, 2 games that I'm going to make a statement, maybe must-win games for this basketball team.
I would think they have to be.
Okay?
I don't know
That's
if
coming.
they will be.
That's coming soon. Philly spring training and a little bit of March Madness. We'll just at the tip of her at the end of the show, but
Just
we're
a
gonna
tip.
we're gonna dive
Just for a second.
Just want to know how it feels.
full balls in on Phillies though.
Yeah.
On the other side, so don't go anywhere. Stay with us. Everybody on Twitter and Instagram. We're gonna restart the stream. You know how it is. Everybody on YouTube, stay with us. We're also gonna be restarting our Facebook stream again. Static Gate. We'll see you on the other side.
Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes. Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes. Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes. Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes. Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes. Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes. Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
This is AM and the PM, only on A2D Radio. Second half talk. We are brought to you, though, by our doc, Make 'em Yours, and that's Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Tom Arnone, Greg Moagvik, Brian Daly, Ralphie D over on the ones and twos. Fam, you're just hopping in with us now. Our first half was obviously dedicated Flyers, Capitals, live reactions. We got deep into the Flyers talk. We're talking some Broad Street here. We're excited. So you can find us everywhere, re-listen, wherever you get your podcasts at, too. We're there as well. iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud. We're everywhere. So subscribe, like, follow. Please help us continue to grow as well. And if you're already on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, do the same. Follow along. Enjoy the ride. Shows daily here, baby. Shows every day. So listen, we're going to segue now. And we're going to get in our second half talking. What shows have been doing here that take breaks. The second half, we want to bring you another poll question. We just don't want to settle on the first one. Now, second half of shows are like first half of shows. We got something new for you. And our new poll question is brought to you by ambuckservices.com. AMBUCK services.com. Tell them A2D sent you 10% off. Gutter guards, gutters, everything outside of your house you think you need done. They can do it at ambuckservices.com. Tell them A2D sent you 10% off. So let's get into the other side of our show, which is going to be some Sixers related too, but we're going to start with the Phillies side of things. And our poll question, Mickey Moniak will play in Philly this year with the big league team. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Chime in, reading off all your questions, comments, excitement for a new year. Harper went yard twice. Real Muto went yard. So a lot of excitement there, but chime in. Mickey Moniak will play in a Philly? What is your poll again, Greg? Mickey Moniak will play in Philly this year. Agree or disagree? So I'm going to tell you right off the start. James Lynn, real quick. Flyers are a cup favorite. True or false? True.
Absolutely true.
And Poe says Greg is peaches and cream crumb cake.
I do love me some peaches and cream.
Trevor says, Trevor Harris, let's bring back the Flyers. So, Trevor, you got hockey happy hour tomorrow. Them boys are going to crush it tomorrow at 10 o'clock, right? You guys
bro. Who you cheating on right now? Come on, bro.
Well, we got you, too. We brought it hot tonight, and you can go back and listen everywhere. Like I said, we're everywhere. Go back and listen to it. It was a great time. So, what happened over there? Did it go out on me? So answer the poll, fam. We want to segue. It is Phillies baseball time. It's in the air. I'm going to be down there in Sarasota, but I'm going to be down there when they open up in Miami, and I'm planning on going down there at least the one game. And the price of tickets I might do Saturday and the Sunday, so I get the 1 o'clocker and then get out of there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking about doing. I got about a 3.5 hour drive back, so. Not bad, but I'm going to be down there, and let's go, baby. That's a team that's beat us up, essentially, when they had no right even beating us.
Yeah.
So let's end that this year and go down and maybe get 2 of the games I'm at. If you want to take all 4 and really start off the right way, we'd love to have you.
And I'll be down at the spring training game Tuesday in Clearwater against the Twins. I'll be down there with my fam.
Well, I'll just wait till they come home, and I'll just go to the home opener.
No, that works as well.
That's always a good time.
So,
yeah,
so the poll, I agree. I mean, it's the guy in Moniak who can say whatever you want to say, but has came into camp and looks like a major league ball player. Has put on size, has put on muscle. So
I saw him up close.
Yep. So now it's starting to say, like, okay, he looks like the rest of the guys now. He's not a skinny little kid anymore, blah, 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 blah. But it's a guy who's hit at every level he's been at. It's not like he hasn't hit. So to me, he's raking in the spring, and if it continues, I absolutely I might give him listen, why not? The Flyers did it. Why not go until Kutch is back, Moniak, Hazley in your outfield with Harper? What's the big deal? Put Moniak in center, his true position. Put Hazley in left. Done and done. Bruce is your bench guy. Bruce is your bench off the bat. Go that direction. And people are going to be like, I can't believe you're saying about starting him. Yeah, I would consider it. I would really consider it. If he hits like this all spring, you have to consider it. It doesn't mean it has to be done, but I absolutely consider it and give it a long thought, because if he can play, he can play.
Yep.
And it's like, I don't care about the clock. I'm a big market, and I'm trying to win. And if this guy brings me something and some youth for the vets, always helps, man. It helps when guys can play, if they can play. You know, if he stinks, it doesn't help anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? From what it looks like, it's like this guy's ready to go.
Yep.
Now, this year, I say I agree with the poll, but I realistically, I know how they operate, and it'll probably be next year. You know, I think you got a better chance of seeing Bohm this year, but I don't know, man. If this continues this spring, I don't know why nobody's not talking about him.
Yeah.
It's surprising because it's all Alec Bohm and Spencer Howard. That's all you hear about. And you never hear
And
about
rightfully so.
Yeah, but you never hear about Moniak. And he's just quietly going through.
He's taking a little bit to get back to normal. But as you said, I saw him up close a couple weeks ago, live. He was thick. He was he's growing into his body.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He's now he's now getting 21, 22. So he's starting to mature, and he's still able to run around center field. I think he had a big double in that game I was at with the Tigers. So I like his chances of being up. I'm going to disagree to the poll though. I just think having a guy like Roman Quinn, having a veteran like Jay Bruce. I'm not saying these guys are better and they're not the long-term fits, but I just think for this year, I'm going to disagree. I wouldn't put it past him though. If he continues to hit through spring and continues the year starting off hot, I could absolutely see it, but I'm going to disagree just over because of the guys. I'm not even counting Nick Williams. I don't think he's really a part of the future. Nick, I don't even think he'll be on the team. Maybe he is just because of Kutch, but I'm more keeping it. And the other side, he's a left-handed stick. They're probably going to want someone right-handed.
Yeah, I don't care.
As like that fifth outfielder, you know what I mean? So
when guys got to pitch to three guys, I don't really care anymore.
No, I agree.
That whole strategy's out the window.
With Bruce and Quinn, though, I'm kind of
it sucks that that's the names. You know what I mean? Not Bruce. I'm fine with Bruce, and I'm fine with Quinn if he ever stayed healthy.
Yes.
But the problem is I know where that train's going. So that's what hurts me about him.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, I want a breath of fresh air. I want somebody new. So give me somebody different.
Yeah.
Give me a puppy that's ready to go that isn't going to get banged up and looks ready to go. And that's the whole thing. Like, looks can be deceiving. Sure, that first picture of him in spring, you're like, okay, who's this guy? And then he starts to hit, and you're like, oh, okay. And then it's like, well, what other direction do I have to say about him?
For this. We've been
waiting. I mean, this is why you're number one pick in the draft. We know why, money-wise, why. But at the end of the day, you still were. You still were a top 5 guy.
And you still hope it works out.
Yeah, because I'm saying you still were a top 5 pick regardless on where you went. It's just, Phillies took you at 1, fine. And I'll give you time to develop at 18, an American-born player, because it's just different. Dominicans come in at 18, they'll rake. Yeah, I don't understand it. But an American-born player, I'll give you to like 21, 22. Then you got to be ready to go.
Yeah.
And I think he's, 21 now?
I think he's 21, yeah.
So he just turned 21, I believe. So, here you go. Now you're starting to get into a man's body. Just as expected. Next thing, you're ready to play the big league level.
Well, you know what it is with the Dominican guys is they're not really 18. They're already 21. They're just
I didn't want to say.
You watch bench warmers too much.
James Lynn said, would love Moniak, but they won't do it till they feel like it because of money. James, I'm right with you.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
But I agree with the poll just because I want to.
Yep.
Right? It's not because I believe that's what they're going to do. I know how they operate them crumbs at times. And when it comes to this shit, it's the worst. Like, okay, I got Roman Quinn. I don't want to start Moniak's clock. Well, dude, Quinn's going to get hurt. And if he doesn't,
that's inevitable.
Yeah, if he doesn't,
that's taxes. And Roman Quinn getting hurt.
And Scott Stevens taking out Lindros.
Scott Stevens taking out Lindros.
Add on to him. But it's like, if he doesn't, great. If Quinn doesn't get hurt, great. But I just know how it's going to go. And I feel bad for the kid because to me, he brings a lot to the table. I love speed. Speed kills. Like when I coach, I'm stealing all day. Mm-hmm. Like we're taking advantage of you. And if you have a weakness behind the plate or a weakness on the mound in terms of, taking too long, we're going to take advantage of it. And I think that's how the big league game should still be played to a point, right? So take advantage of weaknesses. I want to be able to steal bases. I want to hit and run. I want to be able to do them things. I want to be able to bunt, right, in certain spots. So Quinn brings some of them things. And again, speed in the outfield always helps in balls and gaps. It's a great time. Always good to have. So in that terms, great. But I've seen it. So can you give me Moniak? Bri? Does he play?
I would love to say yes, but I don't think he does. With McCutchen being out probably closer to the short term, you're going to wind up, I think, seeing a platoon between Jay Bruce and Roman Quinn out in left field or center field, wherever they decide to put him, and Hazley will go in the opposite position. but I don't think he's yet. I hope he has a great spring. I will love to see him early, just so I can actually get a taste of what he actually looks like and what he brings to the table. But I don't think it's quite yet. I think we're just going to see those vets just fill in that little hole, in that little void.
And we're going to find out as we get in the next couple weeks of spring too. We're really going to. That's sort of going to clean itself out.
Yeah,
guys will get sent back.
They get reassigned.
Yep.
And
I know James Lynn's bitching about Spencer Howard, but the guy hasn't even pitched yet.
Yeah.
He's been sort of like a little injury, and they're just giving him a breather.
Yeah, he had a long year. He was out in Arizona with the fall league, so he had kind of an extended year for him
because they had no intentions of him being up.
Right.
No.
Right away.
So that's a no. Now, I mean, I know out of camp they love Bohm, and rightfully so. But again, I don't think he's up because this team's paid guys are already here. Make sense?
Yeah.
So like your starters are already here. So I mean, I just don't. I want Moniak up. I'll agree with the poll just to agree with it, but unless they're do what I do, they're not going to bring him up. Like unless they're going to say, okay, go play center field. Go ahead.
I mean, we know Bohm can hit, but from what I understand, he's a little bit of a defensive liability at third.
Well, it's just he's tall.
Yep.
He's a 6'5", 6'6" kid, and at third base, it's tough to keep your footwork and your lateral mobility being that tall. But so far, he's been able to do it defensively. So, and pundits and scouts think that he could stay there, but obviously, he's a rookie. He's 22. And he's already listed in the program as third base, first base.
Yeah. To my point here with Bohm is, with Didi and Segura and Kingery playing third, second, and shortstop, however they decide to divvy that up, Bohm's not going to probably be seeing at-bats every day. You want to keep him in a position where he's going to be continuing playing every day in the lineup.
Yeah, and I know people say trade Segura, but I think Segura's going to have a really good year.
I think so,
he set himself up to.
Yeah, no, I do, and I think he's going to play damn good third base because, I mean, that's just a transition. I think Girardi is doing it perfectly. Put Segura, back him up the ball the same way. Like I have two really good shortstops on one of my team, and I talk to both of them. You're going to play short and you're going to play third because you don't need to go to the other side of the diamond for anything. I want you to see the ball at the bat on the same side.
Yep.
Get comfortable because if you're not a shortstop, then you're a third baseman. So you know what I mean. If you're this at this age, you're going to be one or the other. And then if you go to the outfield, then just go to left. Because Paul's off the bat the same way. So you just keep that consistent. But in terms of this, I love that he said, okay, Scotty, go play your natural position.
Yep. Because
now there's no excuses, which I believe there's a ton of excuses for the jabron that was in here before and the way he operated. There's tons of excuses for lack of production, right? Tons. Now, new manager, great manager, pitching coach well regarded, right? All the coaches well regarded. So now, Scotty, you're at second base. You have to have a big year. I mean, Scotty's one of the X factors that you need to have. He needs to hit 25 plus, and he needs about like 270. Because he just has to.
He came in jacked up to spring training, so he's ready to work. He's been working in the offseason.
No, and it looks like it. And you have some X factors on this team in this lineup in certain spots. But overall, I think this lineup can really hit, and I think they can take it to some teams.
And it's deep. You look at your lineup without Kutch, because you're not going to know if it's an everyday type of guy. You're probably 6 deep. When you add Kutch, you're 8 deep.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think that, although, we didn't go out and make a big offensive splash this offseason, bringing in, getting the guys back, getting the guys healthy, another year with Hazley under his belt, putting Scotty, as you said, back to his natural position.
Yep, where everybody says Gold Glover, right, Greg?
Yeah, absolutely. Bringing in Didi, which was your biggest offensive splash, and I think he could do really well in a 1-year prove-it deal. You want big money, go do it.
And guess what?
And he's in a hitter's ballpark now, too, so it plays to his favor. And then the bench guys they even brought in, Mickey Moniak, who came from Detroit, I thought he's going to be a good bench player off. And then you got Josh Harrison, who can play pretty much any position.
I love
versatile. Josh Harrison, I always loved him. And he's another potential outfielder until Kutch comes back as well. So
and Logan Forsythe's been playing really well, been swinging the bat really well. I mean, you look at these names that we just said, right? Versus the guys they had in camp last year.
Yeah, who?
Sean Rodriguez, the guy we trade, Brad Miller, who we traded for. These guys were pivotal contributors to this team last year, and you go and you upgrade your bench and your utility guys with pros who have done it before. With guys that won't step back in a moment, who might not be playing every day, but they know that role and they embrace that role. I mean, Neil Walker, I guess, is essentially your backup first baseman right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Neil Walker can hit.
I mean, Walker's another guy who can pretty much play any position.
Yeah.
And then the minor league signings like Liriano, you hope can bring maybe he can get in his pen somewhere. And you look at guys like that, like maybe under Brian Price, you can get some of these minor league guys to get in your pen. But Didi's not going to hit the cover off the ball. But the fact of the matter is, to me, he's a damn good shortstop, glove wise, and he's going to hit you 25 home runs. Yep. And if he bats 260, 270, that's right around where he is. But you're going to get guys to be able to go to natural positions like Kingery. You're going to allow Segura, who now gets saved by the foul line. So now when you're going to your right, he's now saved by that foul line.
Yep.
Instead of going into the hole the other way, right, between short and third. So now he's saved by that. So lateral movement, it's a win for him. He's also saved going to his left, right? So he's saved going to his left for a ball to his left because a lot of times you go as far as you can go, and then it becomes a shortstop's ball. So, you know what I mean? He's saved by a lot of the lateral stuff, which to me can make him, the way he looks, came in shape, everything like he talked about, he's given up. Congratulations to him because I think he could have a Gold Glove-ish type of year at third base. So some guys from short to third, it can make him better there.
And we've seen it happen.
And he'll keep it. He can bat 275, 280. You hope
he's a 300 hitter everywhere else but here.
So you hope that Dylan in here, and we were talking about at the break, like they're doing their BP at like 95 miles an hour because they want guys locked in, to that speed. You gotta get your timing down with it. So if you're throwing 65 and a BP before a game, how's that translate to you seeing 95? So how about I see 95 early? It's common sense.
Yeah.
We're not bringing out curveball machines. We're bringing out fastball machines. We're going to jazz you up a little bit. And I haven't been this excited about a Philly season since you go back in our runs.
Right.
I haven't.
I'm with you there.
I just haven't. There's so much talent and some overlooked talent because again everybody that came here stunk. Like to their numbers.
Yep.
Like Harper gave you his numbers.
But he took a while.
Yeah, Realmuto sort of gave you his numbers in a way.
He took a while.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? But like nobody gave you their numbers.
But Segura was down.
Yeah, nobody gave you your numbers. Like
Hoskins
Santana was down when he was
Santana
here.
was down.
So everybody was. Pitching wise. So to me, the whole new staff can revitalize guys.
Yep.
And I think that's what I think you're saying. I think this team's going to win the division.
I think they finished second. But it's a whole new philosophy. It's a whole new mentality. Joe Girardi said earlier, probably like last week, that he doesn't want guys striking out. He wants guys making hard contact.
Absolutely.
He said, if you got guys on base, what good is a strikeout? What does it do for us? It does no good. So that's my mentality. That's what I love about it. He's not going out there looking for one big inning where he puts up a crooked number. No, he wants you to make contact. He said launch angle does nothing as well. He's like,
We
if
just
you
had a whole
strike
talk
out,
on that.
yeah. Strikeouts do no good if you're focused on launch angles.
No.
You still need that contact.
Listen, the Kansas City Royals won a World Series by contact.
Yeah.
Like contact wins games.
Yeah,
Putting balls
absolutely.
in plays wins games. Making guys make plays wins games. I don't care what anybody ever says. That's what we always, me, you, Sweeps, and Wells were in the one group message. Like, you can bunt. Like, I'll never forget the game I was at in San Diego when they didn't bunt with Roman Quinn with a guy on first and no
Even
outs.
hit and run,
And you're
something
down
like
one. You're down one. Like in the 8th inning. It's 101 bunt time.
Yep.
So, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, no, I was just going to comment on, the striking out does nothing good. I mean, we put that video out with Rizzo the other day when he was mic'd up, and he said the same thing in the box. To everybody listening, I'm choking up. I'm trying to put the ball in play because nothing good happens when you strike out.
Yep.
Yeah, you put the ball in
Nothing
play.
good can happen.
You got a guy on second, you hit a fly ball. Yeah, that's called a productive out. You hit a ground ball to first base side, you got to run on second. That's a productive out. You can move the guy from second to third.
Yeah, strikeouts do nothing but send you back in the dugout.
And nothing happens.
No, and I listen, I can't stand it. I can't stand the way the game's going in terms of like, hey, everybody's trying to hit home runs because that's how you get paid. No. How about how the game's been played forever? Yep. Like, I want to listen to what 300 hitters do. And 300, I always talk about like 300 hitters that can hit 30 plus. I want to know what they do. Because to me, that's worth way more than 260 and 40.
Yeah.
It's just worth way more to me. Because now I'm making contact, I'm making guys make plays, and I'm adjusting the lineup to a bunch of guys who can do that. You know, so you hope that you can get Harper's strikeout numbers down a little bit. You know, he's still going to strike out 170 times, 175 times. That's the way he is. But can you take it down 25?
Yep.
You know, little adjustments there. So, listen, I'm going to say it again. They're winning this damn division. It's how the bullpen shapes out is a different story. But I think there's enough arms back there that you could piece something together.
And like you said, Laureano, Bud Norris, Drew Storen, some of these guys that have done it before. If you catch lightning in a bottle with one of them, it works out.
It's
you
a
know
win.
what I mean?
Absolutely.
And again, you bring Drew Storen back with Brian Price, where he was with him, or not Brian Price.
I think it was Brian Price in Cincinnati, right? Yeah.
Oh, my God. Did he do this? Brian Ecker said, did you hear Kapler's interview the other day with the Giants? Supposedly they called him out for playing Posey in 2 games on the same day or something like that. Oh my God. Did he play?
Wow.
Did he play a split squad? He sent Buster Posey to play a split squad in San Diego. Yo, Gabe Kapler should get fired on the spot.
Buster Posey's like 90 too.
He's get fired on the spot. What do you lube him up with oil for game 2 to get the body feeling right? I mean, what a disgrace! How does a guy, Greg? I can't, Greg, because I do this for a living. When I talk about baseball, baby, I do it for a living, so I can't take it. How does guys like this get jobs? I could go manage. I would have managed the Phillies to at least one playoff berth. And them 2 collapses. At least one. And the teams weren't good enough, but I just know I'd win 10 more games than he did. Because he cost us 10, so I'll figure out how to win the other 10. But how does a guy like this get a job? You're really sending Buster Posey to a split squad? Are you okay? I mean, that's what happens when you don't eat ice cream. Like when you don't have any sweets in your life,
and
these are the terrible decisions
you peel the
make.
skin off of nuggets.
Yeah.
Like, who does that?
Brian Ecker.
Serial killers.
Brian Ecker was also talking about Frank Castellucci. How about them Flyers, boys?
Let's go.
Let's go, baby. Our whole first half of our show you can go back and listen to. We laid it out for an hour. Flyers talk.
We dove in.
Good time.
Yeah, we did.
And then the Hockey Happy Hour, boys, got it tomorrow at 10 p.m. for you Eastern time.
Got
Tag-
that
And he
right.
says, "Are we
Tag,
favorite for the Stanley Cup?" And I said, and he says he thinks so. I absolutely think so. I absolutely.
They'll make a push. I don't know if they'll actually get there, but they'll definitely make a push. They'll make some noise.
Well, I can't believe he did that. I can't.
That's unreal.
I didn't know
Like
that.
it's one thing.
Thanks,
I thought it was-
Brian.
I thought-
Thanks, Brian.
Colby Milner coming in, like, that dude's a rookie. No one knows his name. Everyone knows Buster Posey. Buster Posey doesn't travel in spring training.
You must have
He stays at your ballpark,
At your facility.
and he stays there and goes home after the third
All
inning.
I can think is if they had a split squad and he went down to the minor league complex, which would you think would be in the same like complex
Yeah.
area? That's the only thing I can think of. That's the only thing. Like it was at the same
That's
ballpark.
his only saving grace.
But that's not even
That's
saving
his-
grace. I still can him there.
No, absolutely.
I still can him just because your track record, baby. Your track record speaks volumes.
Is that as bad as not knowing you didn't have a pitcher warming up in the bullpen, or is that worse?
It's worse.
It's worse because it's a veteran.
Brian, the pitchers were saying that they didn't know it was like Russian roulette. They were saying out there.
They didn't know who was coming in.
They didn't know who was coming in. Hector Neris said at one point he just kept throwing and refused to come in one time. He said, "You want to yo-yo me? I'm not coming in. You're not gonna. I'm not getting an arm injury because of this nonsense." So he didn't come in. He just kept throwing in the bullpen. I love it. He's my closer, Ralphie. That's my closer. That's my closer then. Because I love it. You're saying, yeah, what the frig are you guys doing in it? Are you oiling up Chris Young? What are you guys oiling up each other's
It's
balls?
the wrong Chris Young.
And that
He
one
wasn't even the one that pitched.
And that might not even be the right one. But at least it's closer. James Lynn said Girardi Breeze already accomplished more than Gabe. Facts.
I agree with that.
Yeah, Bill, I don't agree with what they're projected to be. He said fourth, only in front of the Marlins. I don't agree with that projection. I love that projection. Because they're going to win the division, or they're going to come in second and get a wild card.
Yeah.
They're right in that mix. They're better than you think they are. Because I think coaching matters so much, especially with some young arms. Can you get the back end, your 4 or 5? Could they win you 10, 11, 12 games? That would be crazy. But your Wheelers and your Nolas got to come deal. Now, your Penn, Sir Anthony, with the elbow. That's usually Tommy John. He didn't do it. I know Tanaka didn't do it. Tanaka's pitched great with it. I'm worried about that. I got a concern with that.
He's looked good so far in bullpens.
Yes. So I'm
simulating
hopeful.
games and stuff, so.
I'm hopeful.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But it's still a concern. Now, Hector, I'm not really concerned with. When Hector Splitter's right, he's right. So
Yep.
he's a fighter. So I'll put a fighter back there,
And even
at least
when he was-
early on.
And even when he was bad last year. He wasn't really bad.
He wasn't terrible.
He had like
terrible,
one or
no.
two outings where you're just like, ooh, okay. But other than that, he
One
was
of the few
lights out.
bright spots back there throughout this fraud.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So you can say that.
Yeah, for sure.
Now your fifth spot, does Pivetta or does Velasquez go to the pen? That's a big question mark we talked about. So
Or does a guy like Ranger Suarez, who's a big fan of ATD, usually checks in on the shows.
Yeah, where are you, Range?
Does he sneak away because he's that lefty? Does he sneak away in the rotation?
No, I think he's better a pen guy. I would like to have that extra lefty out of the pen too, because I don't care about the 3-batter rule.
Right.
If you can get guys out, you can get guys out. I think he's a guy who can get both sides out. So I wouldn't have a major issue with him in the pen somewhere, just like Adam Morgan, your other left.
Right.
You have two lefties instead of one, because you're going to go. Or now if he don't make the team, then it's Liriano.
Right.
As your other lefty, but neither one in your rotation. You're just not going to have a lefty in your rotation again. So that's fine. Doesn't really matter to me.
No.
You got to get outs.
But I know.
Two lefties in my pen.
I know he's in the running,
my...
and he's been pitching as a starter in the spring.
Okay, but two lefties in my pen helps make up for it.
I agreed.
So when a lot of teams run one, so if I go two out of my pen, you're going to see more lefties then from me. So it mixes it up enough, analytically wise, for the jabrones up top.
Nerds.
For the jabrones up top. But no, I mean,
Great candy though.
Me, it's Velasquez go to the 8th inning, so Anthony's the 7th, or vice versa. And I go there, and then I got Morgan, Suarez, or Liriano as one of my lefties.
In either 7th or the 8th,
Yeah,
if it comes to that.
If it comes to that, or just whatever, I got to throw them in the 6th for big outs. I got to throw them in the 7th, so I can just mix them guys in around my closer, my setup man, and my pre-setup man type thing. So they can all mix around there. In the 7th, maybe in the 8th sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm good with one of that, like Morgan, probably Morgan Liriano, honestly. If I had a guess, I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I don't
That'll
know.
probably be my guess.
I don't know if Range has any options left. I'm sure he does, to where he'd be an easy get back to.
Well,
the
they used
minors.
2 on Ranger last year?
Yeah,
I think they did
so.
2 last year. I know they called him up at least twice. But honestly, I think he's another guy who winds up back in the minors. I would like to see him stay up here, but
I do too.
I liked what I saw the little bit that I got to see from him last year.
Yeah. I'd rather have a guy with a little bit more, not experience, but I mean, I'd rather have like a Liriano coming out in that spot.
No, I agree.
And not that he's that. I'm not crowning that. But just as like a lefty coming in, he's got to go to 3 batters, whatever. Then go ahead, because I know you get outs from both sides. You did your whole career. So you should be able to for 3. You know what I mean?
Yep.
For 3 outs.
I could definitely see. I could see that. I mean, when they signed Liriano, I was really excited about because I could see it being like a versatile move. If need be, he could be in the rotation. If need be, he could be in the pen. He could work in a couple different ways. He's been a solid pitcher most of his career. So, and if he winds up in the bullpen, and we do wind up having a lot of young pups out there, he's a guy that can be a mentor and help mold some of these guys into the correct mindsets that they need to be in coming out of the bullpen, depending on their role, of course.
Facts.
No, absolutely. No, you're spot on there.
So, I mean, I like that. That's the reason why I like the Liriano deal. That's why I like most of the deals that they made this year. There's a presence there from most of those guys. Like maybe Mickey doesn't make the pro roster, May took, and he winds up in AAA. But you still bring in like a guy like Neil Walker. He's been around forever. Josh Harrison, he's another guy that's been around. So you're bringing in leaders.
Yeah, really. Walker, Harrison are making this team.
Yep.
No doubt.
Forsythe maybe makes this team too.
And like you said earlier, a guy like Forsythe, a guy like Harrison, not so much Walker anymore because he's a little on the older side, so he's the second baseman, first baseman. But those 2 other guys can play at a corner outfield spot in a pinch.
Yep.
Well, this is what they have, right? So this is their depth chart right here, right? This is according to ESPN. So their starters are Nola, Wheeler, Arrieta, Eflin, Velasquez.
Okay.
Relief pitchers, Sir Anthony, Jose Alvarez, Victor Arano, Adam Morgan, Anthony Swarzak.
Okay.
So they didn't have.
Oh, I forgot they signed Swarzak.
They didn't have what's his face anywhere in there, Pivetta.
Yeah. So that means they're probably projecting Pivetta to be.
Yep, out.
AAA.
Yep, Hector Neris is the closer. And then your essential starters are Realmuto, Hoskins, Kingery, Segura, Didi, McCutcheon when he's healthy, Hazley, Harper, and then Bruce, Quinn, Harrison, probably Knapp, Forsythe, and there.
Yeah.
And that's your roster. So the only one you're looking at is that fifth starter and some of the bullpen. I think the rest of it's sort of intact.
Yeah.
Right. So that's going to be the question.
It's your fifth outfielder.
I forgot Jose Alvarez. So that's another lefty. So how many lefties you having?
So that would be 3. Should we go down the route we were just talking about with Liriano and Morgan? So that would be 3 out of the bullpen.
Well, no, you're going to have more bullpen guys than that, right? More than 5.
Yeah, or 6 with Hector. Usually have 7 or 8.
Yeah, so you're going to have 2 more guys. So there's Pivetta, maybe a Liriano. And then you have enough righties there.
But you're right. Which one, like you said, Walker, Forsythe, Harrison, at least 2 of the 3 make the team.
Yeah.
Probably
I definitely think for sure it's going to be Walker and Harrison. Those guys they've been around, and they've been proven players.
It's that true fifth outfielder spot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is it obviously we know Bruce is there, so that's the 4th, right? If you count McCutchen. McCutchen on the injury opens up another spot to where is the 5th outfielder, as you said, Mikey Moniak, right? Right-handed bat. Is it Roman Quinn, who's a switch hitter, just can never stay healthy? Is it my son, Nick Williams, who just stinks, limited playing time? And he's not going to get regular playing time, so I don't think that's an option.
No.
So right now, your options are, obviously be Roman Quinn, Jay Bruce, probably platooning in left. Because to me, even if you put Roman in the game, Adam Hazley's my everyday center fielder. So for
absolutely,
Roman Quinn type of guy, I love Roman, but if he comes and plays a game, he's in left field. Adam Hazley stays in center field. The only time I move Adam Hazley is if he's hurt or I sign Mike Trout.
Pretty much, I'm with you there.
No, you're right because Hazley stays there, and Quinn will spell him at times.
Yeah,
and
day off. Yeah.
And when you start the year, you might see a combo of Harrison, Bruce in the outfield at different times, and then a little taste.
More likely in left field.
And then Hazley will get a breakdown, and Quinn will get running center. And I think the best thing for Roman Quinn is not a lot of playing time.
Yeah, like a 5-2 split.
Yeah, maybe he can stay healthier and bring something to the table that way. But no, they said Hazley's the everyday guy. Finally let a kid go be an everyday guy, and there's not a lot of pressure on him.
Put him in the 7-hole or 8-hole.
And let him hit.
Maybe you see Roman Quinn more in pinch running situations where if you're down a run or 2, you got a runner on second. Flip him out. Throw Roman Quinn in there to utilize that speed.
Defensive substitutions maybe late in games for different guys, especially for Bruce. And Bruce is getting the start. So, I think this team offensively is shaped up really well. It's going to depend on that starting staff, which I think we believe in 2 of the guys. Now it's can one of these next 3.
Can Speedo Boy.
Yeah, can Speedo Boy, find a little resurgence here, back to normal baseball, and can Eflin pitch like he started?
Can Eflin take that next step?
And
we've seen the flashes of brilliance from Eflin, so we know he's got it. We just need a guy who can take him to that next step. Honestly, I believe a little more in the starting 5 of Eflin, Arrieta, and Pivetta a little more than most because I'm excited to see what an actual pitching coach can do with these guys.
Yeah, agreed.
Instead of having Chris Young, who was just I didn't even know who he was until he became a Philly. But just to see these guys and just to see him take the next step, show them and teach them how to actually pitch and control themselves and control their mindsets and just be able to locate pitches and not just throw heat.
Yep. No, you're absolutely right. And Wheeler looked good the other day. Pavetta's actually looked decent in the spring, incorporating that changeup more. But again, we talk about the pitching changes and the coaching changes, and they're getting back to baseball. And when you're pitching in baseball, it's establish the fastball. Everything else follows off of that. It's not, hey, let's just throw a whole bunch of breaking balls and all speed stuff that then the hitters know what's coming. If you establish a fastball and you can get a fastball by somebody, which everybody in the majors can, then it's so much more difficult for the hitter to stalk. Again, going back to that, Rizzo, he's down 0-2, 1-2. He's doing math in his head trying to figure out what's coming. That's really what happens.
Well, and Pavetta's got a whole different mindset going into this year, apparently having to sit down with Joe Girardi. Girardi showing all the confidence in the world in him. Apparently, he's come to camp with some swagger.
Well, he worked out. He worked out with Lucas Giolito this offseason out in L.A., working up at the Mamba Academy sometimes too. And if he can have a Lucas Giolito year that Giolito had last year for the White Sox, being that Cy Young running, hello.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That'd be fun to watch.
Like I said, I'm looking forward to it.
They used to their whole MO was fastballs up, all speed down. That's how they pitch to everybody. Same thing, everybody. Just a little fun fact.
And what happens when all speed's low? Where's it going? Low. So if your all speed's already out of the zone low, it's just going to be even further out of the zone low. It's never a competitive pitch. So having an actual guy that knows what he's talking about is going to be really nice, and hopefully it translates to the team and to the rest of the players.
And then I'm the only one who thinks this, but I'm really high on a healthy Jake Arrieta this year as well. I know his elbow's finally clean. His elbow's finally healthy. He's finally going to get full extension on his elbow, which I don't think he's had in 2 years. And with that, I feel like with the full extension, he's going to get the full movements on every single one of his pitches as well. So hopefully it's a positive step forward. And we see we're not going to see Cy Young Award winner Jake Arrieta, but a better Jake Arrieta than we saw last year.
Yeah, because the Jake Arrieta we got is the Jake Arrieta from the Baltimore Orioles.
Absolutely.
The one that didn't figure out how to pitch yet.
Yeah.
And I know he's a guy that, you're right, Bri. He relies on a lot of movement on his pitches. And so if he can't get that extension, he can't get that whip on the ball, a lot of that movement doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And when movement doesn't happen in the big leagues, it goes a long way the other way.
Yeah, they say when you have bone spurs in your elbow that your elbow gets to a certain point and it just stops and it just locks in there. So with everything being all cleaned out and him being able to get that full extension now, I'm excited to see what he actually can bring.
Yeah, it's funny, too, because when we signed him, I thought his first year with us was going to be his best year. And year 3, it was going to be, just a wash year. I figured we'd be so much more competitive. And not that we're not, but, in a different state to where, hey, we needed to sign Arrieta. We got 1 year, 1.5 years good out of him. We'll get 1.5 bad years out of him. But now it's like with the first 2 years, the way it's going, I'm like, Jake, I need you this year, dog. Jake, I need you.
And I think being in the fourth spot in the rotation, I think that takes some pressure off of him that he could just go out and pitch and do his thing. And hopefully it translates into good baseball.
Yeah, can you get 2017 Arrieta, with the Cubs, a 3.53 earned run average? He had a 3.96 his first year here. So can he be somewhere around that, in the middle of those two? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of what I'm gunning for. I'm not expecting him to be lights out, but I'm not expecting him to be bad either. But I also, like I said, I still see you saw the flashes of brilliance from Eflin and Pivetta, and hopefully with all that, and the mixture of Brian Price, I'm just excited for this rotation.
No, for sure.
I'm just absolutely excited. I can't wait to get going.
Yeah, I'm getting jazzed up. The more, obviously I'm getting ready to go to a game in Clearwater, so of course I'm getting jazzed up on that side. But with every passing day, it gets closer and closer to opening day, and you're just like, this is that time of the year.
You're
excited. I love it. I'm excited.
Oh, it's my favorite time of the year. Games every night, and that's what makes it fun. But all right, we'll talk March Madness later.
Yeah,
we have plenty of time.
Yep.
Great show, fam.
Absolutely.
Love you. Thanks
Right,
for joining
thanks for
us.
coming in, buddy.
Yeah,
man,
thanks, brother.
absolutely.
Ralphie,
do it again.
Great job out of you again.
Yeah, kind of.
This is AM and the PM, HUD Radio. Tom Arnone, Greg Moniak, Brian Daly, Ralphie D on the ones and twos. Family, we love you. Stay tuned tomorrow night. You got Lazy Booking followed by the Hockey Happy Hour. Enjoy that for our wrestling nerds as well. And then we got our hockey nerds following them. So, Nerd Talk.
Nerd Talk.
What else I want to say to you? Oh, thanks to our doc, making yours, Dr. Paul Vidal.
goat.
Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com, as well as Ambuck Services. 10% off. All you got to do, tell them A2D sent you. That's ambuckservices.com, AMBUCK services.com. Tell them A2D Radio sent you. That's 10% off. We out, fam. Peace.